Hello and welcome to Office Vlog 06. This is the first time I can't show the number on my fingers. Today it's just more moving. And this time I'm going to take you into the storage unit and show you what's up because I've made some progress in the last few videos and I haven't really shown you in there just because I've been grabbing stuff and running as quick as I can. So I want to take a look at what's in there and start planning out the next steps of what's going next and what stuff's moving where, just to get through it all as quickly as possible. Okay, now with the couch and the server rack here, we can actually start to see the scope of what all is going in here. So these two shelves, actually this whole thing is a lot longer than I remembered it being. I guess these shelves are 4 feet wide, not 3. Those definitely will not fit side by side with the server cabinet where I was initially thinking. So that's a thing. There's a bunch of obviously not office stuff in here. Not everything in here is actually mine. So there are some things that won't be going to the office. Like, I don't think I'm gonna put old tires in there. But yeah, so I'm going to have to really start deciding here what order I want to bring things in. CRTs can be pulled out and then left on the ground while I reassemble the shelves. So obviously that has to happen. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. Data generals. Okay, I haven't said those words yet for a couple of reasons. They're really, really heavy. Like, this drive probably weighs 130 or 150 pounds. They're really, really heavy. All right. I am going to try and take them upstairs. I'm a little concerned about the weight, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, unfortunately, it's like pass fail, and fail is where, you fall through the ground, but I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. But I'm going to need help, so I can't just do that on my own. So these may temporarily get wheeled into the other storage unit, which is in the same building, so I can do that. But yeah, I can't immediately take these just on a whim, so it can't happen. Let's see, though. I can take all this stuff. That is my TV stand. I'm not sure if I want to take that to the office. I do actually have a TV here. This is a very interesting TV. I'll just go with that, and to tell you that it weighs 120 pounds, so it's not going to be fun to move. So yeah, really, I can, nope, I still can't really show you. Way back in there is the cabinet for the electronics bench. I was kind of hoping I could get to it today. Maybe if I moved. You know what? Really, no, I can't. This is next. This has to be next. That's the only thing that makes sense. Get this out, then stuff that's over here can go there, and then I can start to move that. So, like, this is all stuff that will go into the, actually, this should go somewhere. My power filter. Should have just take that home, put the server back on it. Yeah, this needs to go today. Oh, Series 80 monitor. That would be helpful because I have all my Series 80 stuff there right now. So yeah, this has to be today's objective. And there we go. It's gone and onto the cart. Wrap the metal in the piece of carpet I had there to make this easier to move. Now to go load it. Okay, I'm all loaded up. Everything is in here, and this is a really big load. This is a lot. But I did that. I got estimates on shipping out physical copies today, so that's good because I finally have those done well enough. So I picked up more stamps because it's going to be a lot. So those are going to be shipping today, which is really nice. So I can have that checked off. But that is it. Now to get to the office so I can unload everything, which is going to be a lot of work. And then, well, yeah, I guess that's it. I'm going to be putting a bunch of stamps on envelopes today. Okay, back in the office now, and I'm ready to start loading everything in. The first step is going to be bringing in the shelves. I have somewhere to put the things because the floor, I mean, it's starting to get a little loaded up here. So I need to actually start putting things on shelves. So first thing is I need to move the server rack over to there, since I really like the idea of removing that little tiny drop ceiling tile for managing cables. So I got to do that. And it's actually going to require moving stuff to achieve that. So I got to do that too. And then I can start setting up the shelves. Now I wanted to put the shelves along this wall entirely at first. If I didn't put the server rack there, it might actually be possible, but it's not going to be with the server rack right there. So yeah, I don't know. Could maybe not put the server rack there. Really what I need is I need a small shell or a small rack, probably wall mount. And then it's just going to be the cables going down into a patch panel and then into a network switch. And then if I ever put a server in here, which is fairly likely, but it's not going to be the main server, then it's really only going to be a few network cables that need to go to the rack. So it won't really be a big deal if I don't put it there, and then it just like up higher, put the network gear instead. So maybe I'll do that, and then still put both shelves along that wall. I don't know. I'm torn. This is a big decision because I don't want to move that shelf again. This is a first like permanent fixture. Well, that's not true. The bookshelves are definitely permanent. All the bookshelves actually. So I don't know. I'm really torn. I can have my cake and eat it too. That is a small drop ceiling tile, but that's also a small drop ceiling tile. I don't know how I missed that one. So I can put the server rack in that corner instead, and I'll probably, I don't know, I could either have it face out that way or face towards the door. Either way would work, but I can just assume it's going there, which means that I can put the shelf up right there and not have to worry about it. So that's nice. Now, if I remember correctly, this is a 9-foot wall, and if those shelves are 4 feet, it's going to be 8 feet of shelves. So it will actually be 1 foot of wasted space. And I feel like I should put the shelves over this way as much as possible because I'm more likely to put shelves along this wall than this wall because there's a door here. So perhaps, actually, if I am going to put shelves, I might want to put tall stuff like that in the corner because I have that. I have pipe and drape set, and I got a bunch of stuff. So maybe I should slam it up against that and then have the other shelves sort of blocking it and then have an open corner right there. And then that'll give me like a whole wall to put tall things against. Yeah, that makes the most sense. So all I have to do here then in that case is just take out, these are mostly empty boxes here, take those out and then the light, and then I can start assembling the shelf right there. All right, now I've actually brought everything in and we're just gonna go set up that shelf in a little bit. But before we do that, I actually have some Amazon mail that we're gonna take a look at. So let's see what is here. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Carl. This is the drop-down installation tool. So I have never used one of these. So this is used to install. How does this work? There's a thing there. I'm going to have to look. Whoa. Oh, that's a thing. Okay. Huh. Okay. Directions. Blade removal, twist thing, blade version, spare blade, storage. Okay, so this is a blade punch tool. Okay. So this is for installing the keystones that will be getting put into all of the wall jacks. This is yeah, I'm definitely, so I was advised to get this because putting on the keystones is apparently not very fun. Okay, I think I can see the blade right there. So I'm gonna have to learn more about this. So yeah, this is, it feels good though. I like that. Thank you again, Carl. I'm pretty sure this is going to be very helpful based on how those keystones look. They look like they really suck to open. So, alrighty, let's see here. This is, oh wow, that's awesome. Thank you. So these are the drives that I use for recording on with my Blackmagic camera. I have one connected to the camera in the other room. Just more of these are always going to be helpful because that means that I don't have to be as frugal with how I film because I can just process more footage. So that is awesome. Thank you. I have to remove before installing it. It's not going into a computer. It's going into a camera. But that is super helpful. Thank you. Because I've only had 2 drives to use, and switching to this or having more of these is just going to make this a lot easier to manage footage and record multiple things, because now I'm recording things at the office, and then so actually what I'm going to do is this one's going to stay here for now because I'm sneaker netting drives back and forth in this. And I've actually had a couple of days where I come here, I didn't have an SSD, so it'll make sense. I'll show you here, actually, the way that this works for me. This is super handy. So down here is my computer, and I have this dock thing, and I pop the drive in here, bam, and then I'll come up to the computer itself, and then the drive should show up in here somewhere. It may not be formatted, so it may not work like that. So let's do fdisk -L. This is it's gonna want a password and stuff. Oh no, there we go. There we go, SDJ. So verified immediately that it's right there. Yeah, it just doesn't have a thing on it. So what I can actually do, it doesn't have a partition. I can take this, eject it, and I'm just gonna walk this straight over to the camera. So you can see the camera's on and it has one of these in it. We're about to actually use this setup here. Now the camera will recognize this. It's going to tell me it needs to be formatted. Yep, format. So we're going to format it, and I'm going to do it as exFAT. I could do it as Mac, but I don't do Mac stuff. So I will format it here. All right, it'll do that. Does not take very long. There we go. And now it will show up there. I started recording a quick clip, so that's good. Then I can stop and I can take this out of the little dock. So I mounted a dock to the back of my monitor there. So we have the drive, and I'm just going to take this back over to the computer, pop it in, and then up here, the drive should show up. There we go. And then the file, and I should be able to play this. I think this computer can. Yep, there we go. And I can play the file. So these are super duper convenient to work with, as opposed to the thing that most people recommend, which are the Samsung T5 SSDs. That's what I started out with, but they're really not as good as this. So yeah, thank you. There was a gift receipt thing in there, I think. Yeah, there it is. Thank you, Carl, again. That is really helpful. Okay, now let's go ahead and start setting up that shelf right here. These gloves, I have learned, are very much required because these things have cut me twice without using the gloves. So, yeah. Now, I picked out these particular shelves after trying to spend some time figuring out how to best store CRTs, specifically my really giant 18-inch CRTs. And I thought I wanted to get some really huge, like industrial size rack shelves. And I think those are very affordable, actually, but this seems to be working just fine, especially because I'm putting the CRTs, the big ones, along the bottom, and then everything else can kind of go in the middle, and it works out. So yeah, I'm just going to go with these for that right now, and they've been working pretty well. And there we go. That pretty well fills in this room here. See, there's not a ton of space up there, although I think that's enough space for the kind of stuff I was putting up there before. So like, it's VIC 20. That'll fit. Oh yeah. There's plenty of space. What's also nice about this board is that it's actually up above the metal part, so I can push that all the way back without worrying about it getting like ruined. I can put the C64 up there as well. Yeah. This is gonna be nice. I got just like a bunch of stuff. All needs to go up there. Yeah, okay. Actually, I don't want those touching the paint. Although, I don't know when the last time this place was painted. This paint might be pretty well aged and already outgassed, but I will pull them away from the wall. But for now, it looks good. So I'm gonna start moving everything in. There we go. 3 monster CRTs on there. I am putting them on interlockingly, and it's really required to do it. So if I wanted the ViewSonic, the LG, I would actually have to remove one of the others to do it, but it works. And in case you think this thin shelf here is useless, you can put keyboards on it. And also, you can put keyboards on it. It's actually my first 5150 here. It's not doing so great. It had the unfortunate luck of having a bad power supply and then having floppy drives when I got a Model 4 that didn't. So, yeah. And speaking of, there is the floppy thief. Now, someday I need to feature this in a video. It works. So there's nothing to fix. I did have to put the floppy drives in it, but I just plugged them in. It already had the floppy board in it, so I didn't have to do anything weird. It's not a converted cassette machine. It just had the drives removed at some point for some reason. How do you know when you have too many backpack CD drives? Because I haven't figured that out yet. Do actually have to watch out for this vent, which stupidly is facing into the wall. That's really annoying. I could rotate it. Actually, putting anything here is going to make it difficult to change the air filter. It's a good thing I already did. So many people ask if they could buy this computer. This is the black version of the tiny Pentium. No. I want it for not only spares, but I may build this up someday as a fully hot-rodded kind of modern equivalent version, although I put the Dream Blaster and 2 compact flash cards in the other one, so I guess I kind of already did, but I don't know. I want to use it at some point for some reason, and it's super rusty. It really needs like a full restoration type thing. So, no, I wouldn't sell this or anything like that. Actually, I've never sold anything from my collection ever, so just not gonna happen. I've mentioned this thing before. It's an log linear RF power meter. I'm never going to need that, but it has Nixie tubes, so it's cool. Here's another candidate for a repair at some point. It's a Toshiba T1600. Has a bunch of cracked plastic inside, but it has a bad internal power supply that released smoke when I tried to power it up. So yeah, at some point that'll be a thing. And this is really cool. It is actually a laptop. It even has 2 batteries, so you can swap them out with a 3rd battery without powering down. It's pretty awesome. Apparently this video is just going to be me having fun talking about all this stuff, so I put it in there. This is a TIAC PCD55. You will not find anything about this on the internet. I don't know if that means it's because it's rare or garbage, because I wanted it after I saw this vertical CD drive in a portable boombox, and that is really uncommon. It's also still dual deck. Where's the ejects? Oh, where are the ejects? I forgot. But yeah, dual deck and CD. It's pretty cool, and it has a line in, so it could be used just as speakers. It's really awesome. It has a dead channel, so it needs repaired. But, you know, I've never seen another one. Now, something like this is hard to put on here because that doesn't fit, and I sized it for the pet. I could put it up here, and it's light enough that I'm not that concerned about it, but there's better things to put up there. So I don't know. maybe when I get the other shelf in, I'll size it so that I can put a bunch of those on there. Because what does it have on there? I think it just has regular VGA CRTs, or like 17 inches. So maybe have that be lower or something. I don't know. For right now, I'm gonna put it on the ground because there's 3 more right here, and they'll all need somewhere to go at once. So it can just be on the Lisa. Yeah, I don't know. I think someone else already did a video on this since I picked this up in 2017, which was pretty early into my channel, actually. It's a VTech pre-computer power pad here, but the really interesting thing about this is that it actually has BASIC on it. Somewhere here you can get into it. And the thing about the BASIC is that it's actually rooted in origins of Apple II, and I think it could actually be a usable computer in a way, which is kind of funny. But yeah, one of these days I just want to take a look at this. And then this is a lot of fun. Realistically, I don't even need to show you what's in this box because you've seen everything already. This is everything from my series on typewriter correction methods. So the ink eradicator, the wheel with the brush, all of it's in there. I highly recommend you check out the typewriter correction video. It's one of my favorite projects I worked on because it was so cool to just go through and learn all the history of that stuff. Well, this stuff. Yeah, highly recommended, just outright. I still rewatch that video myself sometimes just because it's kind of cool to see all that stuff in action. Alrighty, you're gonna get to see some stuff here that may or may not end up in a video. This I just am storing. One of my analog cards from my HP 16500C came in that box, and it's got documentation and other stuff in it. This is a power supply that was in my main computer, is now in a secondary computer. This was the liquid cooler I was using on my, I think my i5, and I ended up stopping using that. Here is the Kinetic microcomputer printer adapter. That's going there. And then this is something that you haven't seen. It'll go with either the VIC-20 or the C64. This is a parallel port printer adapter for those systems to go to the, I think it's like serial GPIB, but the CIA maybe connector. I don't know what is the name of that connector on a C64, but it's an adapter allowed to use parallel printers with C64. So one of these days that'll probably get shown or used or something. I think I need the opposite of that at some point too, because I actually have a couple of Commodore printers that I want to use on PCs to do the hard copy stuff, because I can't easily get the hard copy printout onto the C64. And yeah, I've decided that I'm never going to print that out from a vintage system because it's way too much work to try and move it around onto them and then print it, because file formats and data processing is just no, especially a basic only computer like that. That's going to be a little more difficult to work with files on. A couple more books that I'll actually just put on the bookshelf. This is going to go here. This is just a bunch of transparencies because I want to do a video about an overhead projector, and I need those as an example. This is interesting, a Sprague Electronics component catalog, but, or it might have even had the actual components. I bought this on eBay because I had a bunch of discs, like a Borland turbo assembler. I forget what this was. Form tool, no idea. A couple of MS-DOS 6 5¼ inch floppies. Those are slightly weird. So I got those. Then there are some copies in the back here past these. But the thing is, this has gone bad. And I've seen this before on a monitor cover that you put over a CRT. Actually, the IBM 5153 that I had one of these. So these pages have become kind of oily. If I bring this closer, refocus here, closer, you can see that there's some like weird shiny marks on the pages of this, and then you can kind of see that there's almost like a fluid in between the layers. I'm really glad I'm wearing gloves right now because this is super gross to touch. Yeah, I don't know what to do because it's ruined some of the discs. Like I'll look and I'll see that there's this goo on the discs. The discs are all kind of dead to me. I don't want to put them in any of my drives, but it's still a binder full of 5 1/4 inch disc sleeves. They're just gooey. Ugh, I don't know. Like, oh gosh, I don't know. So one of these days, if anyone has any experience with this kind of gooing on PVC sleeves and how to fix it, let me know, because I would like to use this for stuff, but I don't want to use it like that. All right, I got a lot of space left on here, and everything else I took off of this today. I actually don't want going back on here. I wanted to go other places, so let's put some different stuff on here. So here is my master case of high density floppy disks. That can go up there. These books I should take off because they're going to go somewhere else. Let's see, I got a box of keyboards. Maybe I should pile the keyboards into there. I have them really well packed in here, which, you know, was a good idea for moving, but I don't want them to be really well packed forever because it takes a lot of space. So let's do this. Try laying these out here. I don't know. This is a tricky problem. How do you store keyboards? Because you don't realistically want them on top of each other, because they'll, you know, like compress the keys down, and that's not good for them in the long run. But I've also tried taking something like this IKEA tote and putting them in that upright, but then the keys rub into each other, and that does other horrible things. So I don't know, I'm gonna just go with what feels like the least worst option and stack them on top of each other. Anyone has any better ideas, I'd like to know. And no, skateboard shelves aren't acceptable because I have too many keyboards from too many different kinds of systems. Like, next layer here. This keyboard will work with, I believe, SE Macs, but then this keyboard is meant for Mac Pluses. And then this keyboard is meant for the garbage because it's really gross. I mean, Apple Macintoshes, yeah, like my Flower Mac. Actually, that's the one that came with the iMac G4 I have, and it did that like in the box. It's gross. PC Junior keyboard, that is literally a bespoke, unique keyboard that you can't get for any other system. So you just gotta have a lot of keyboards, and it's just frustrating. And lastly, an IBM XT Model F, missing the large numpad. I need to start an eBay search for that. And I keep forgetting that I'm missing that on here, because I need to get one of those. This is a really heavy keyboard. I don't want to put it up there. Let's just put it on the busted up 5150 down here. That'll work. That feels appropriate. All right, and that's a box down. That feels, it's one of the best feelings, is making a box empty. Okay, anything else I can do right here, right now? I got another keyboard box, but I kind of don't want to bury that stuff too much. I'll put another pile of keyboards here on the other shelf. I don't have a lot of little boxes left here. Oh, you know, could I put my, no, I should, realistically, this is my Mac Classic 2. It should just go on the floor in front of the shelf. That's the ideal location for it. Because it's really well packed in that box. There's no reason to change it. I guess I'll put these joystick boxes up here. This does not contain the joystick. It actually contains my Black Magic box. I just put it there. Put them in there because I do have that controller. That one has the controller in it, though. I don't know. I like controllers. All right, you ever wonder what happens to a computer after the video's done on it? Here's the Sony Slim Top. This is the only one I've ever done this with, but it makes the most sense too. I packed it because I can't realistically use it all the time. It's not a tremendous computer, it's just a really cool one. So it's packed for now until I have another reason to reference it, and then I will gleefully pull it out because it's really nice. Okay, I think that is it for the moment. I wish I had something good to put there, but I really don't know what to. I was thinking about this, and let's put both of these in this video. I wasn't going to at first, but it makes sense. Let's just get it all done at once. So let's go ahead to tomorrow when I'm going back to the storage unit and getting the second one, because, yeah, I think just getting it all done in one go is the best option. Okay, I am back at this the next day, and this one is going to be a lot more difficult to get to because I am going to have to move all of that probably just to right there, and then I'm going to be a lot more crowded into here because I just haven't gotten as much out here yet. But honestly, this is kind of dumb. This one printer right here that you really can't even see because of how dark it is. Let's there we go. This one printer here makes me want to get all that out. Actually, wow, that makes this a lot better. One printer makes me want to get that out because I actually want to use that to print this month's hard copy. So I guess I'm going to actually get started on this. There's so much. Oh man, this HP 4C, it taunts me so. Doesn't work, won't work, no idea why. That really sucks. This is the first real damage of the move on my personal wheel writer 2. That is a shame. And that is the really nice plastic too that is softer, so it tears instead of just cracks. That's not going to be easy to put back together cleanly. That sucks. Okay, it's all in here. It might seem a little more loaded up because there's a big old shelf thing right in the middle here. A couple of bits of furniture, but it's done, so that's good. Also, I didn't tell you this, but this morning, I actually mailed out all of the physical copies for the Patreon supporters. So thank you for that, and hopefully you'll be getting them soon. There are 2 people that I'm still waiting to hear back from to confirm addresses, but that's it. Everyone else's should be out in the mail. Of course, by the time you're seeing this, it's going to have been quite a number of days because I'm a little far ahead on these office vlogs. So hopefully you have them by now when you see this. So yeah, but now everything's loaded in. So much is loaded in, and I'm going to go ahead to the office and start unloading it. Okay, I'm back at the office, and I have another Amazon package that I picked up today that I have a sneaking suspicion that I should open up immediately before we really get started here. So let's go ahead and see, and yes! There is no other... Oh, there it is. Thank you, Carl, again. This is going to be very handy because one of the things that I bought when I first got the office here was one of these, well, a set of these. These are Rode Wireless Go microphones, and this cable will allow me to connect that to my phone so we can have better audio. So let's try that right now. And there we are. I'm now talking through the Rode mic with a lapel mic, which should sound maybe not necessarily better, depending on how I end up having to process the audio. And then unfortunately my beard hair keeps touching the mic and making it make noise, but this will work better for when I want to set the phone down and then walk away from it. One thing I'm going to note here, I kind of figured out how this thing works yesterday. Turns out you push down onto the parts and then it does a forceful motion like that. So learning, there's going to be more to it still, but yeah, after playing around with that, I kind of figured that out. Okay, now with this, there's an interesting option here because I'm speaking to you while holding a tripod. It means that I can take the tripod, put it down here, and then adjust this on the fly, and then walk away, and your audio should not change, which is kind of handy to have as an option here. I don't know how often I will do that with my phone, but that works out really well. Actually, better off doing that and getting it farther away. So that'll work out well. The audio should be more consistent overall. So that's very handy. Thank you again for that. It's going to be immediately useful. Okay, so moving the second shelf in. So the rack needs to go there. And then I actually need to clear all the space to achieve that as well. But first, I'm just going to bring all the parts up for everything, and I'm going to kind of put them along in the hallway here and off into this room, which is what I ended up doing yesterday. It just made a lot more sense to me to bring everything up into here and then organize it into the room on the other side there. So I'm going to get started on that now, and I can't really film because I'm just kind of stuffing things wherever they'll fit. So I will check back with you once everything is in here. Okay, so what I'm going to do here to get ready to move this shelf in here is I'm going to move as much of this stuff into this corner in front of this shelf as I can, because with the monster CRTs down there, definitely nothing else is going in there. And I'm going to try and put as much stuff as I can on here, although realistically there's nothing else that can fit. I mean, maybe if I hold the Commodore back to the point where its feet are, it might be maybe wide enough to fit something like the ST monitor. Not comfortably. No. So, yeah. That shelf is just not well utilized. You know what? With it like that, I could put this random assortment of junk up here. That works. At least makes me feel better. But anyway, I'm gonna start moving this stuff up here and then move that all around and start building the shelf. There we go. That's all I need. I will better set this space up later. Not even going to bother putting it all together yet. But now I can start working on this area and putting the shelf in. Now, actually, I've moved this HP monitor because I kind of like it a lot. Now, like I mentioned, I'm going to put the shelf up against this one as much as I possibly can. Honestly, I might even connect them together once they're both fully assembled to just help strengthen the whole thing up. I feel like that would be a really good idea. Get some baling wire or something to do that with. But I did leave enough room behind this to run like cables and stuff and actually get to things. So I'm not just sealing this wall off completely. But anyway, stuff like this network area down here will be accessible still, and I could still plug something in and run a cable around. But like I mentioned, I'm not going to worry about that right now, and just put the shelves up here. You know, now that I think about it, there's a network jack on that wall on this side towards that corner, and then there's one right here. There is nothing over there where I put the server, but with the layout of the room, it just makes the most sense to put that right there. So I'm just going to do that. But yeah, let me get started on this. Done. That will be the bulk storage for the office. Whew. That feels good to have done. This is a lot of space, storage here, but believe me, it's just gonna be full again. Now, the stuff that I took from the storage unit, actually kicking some stuff out of here, all of it didn't actually go to here because some of it's just gonna go back home instead or move to the big storage unit because it's either not really needed here or maybe I'll get to it later. But for right now, I do have stuff, but I think I'm going to be able to fit most of what I have in the office right now onto here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. First things first, though, will this 21-incher fit down here now? I don't know. And carrying this thing and moving it around is such a pain because the plastic is so bad on it. Just cracking at every little thing I do. It is gonna fit though. Oh, there we go. I want that thing working so bad though. God, used to have a 21-inch ViewSonic. I threw it away. I feel so dumb. Here's another Dell. It does work. Plastic's also trash. That's just regular old, like what, 15, 16 inch? I don't even know, actually. 14? Normal size CRT. That's one you don't need to have at home unless you're a high roller. Now here's my 5153 that has that cover I was trying to tell you about. I'm actually just gonna put it up here for a moment. This is a material that goes bad, and I don't know why. This one, I had to take it apart and clean it and dry it out with Windex and just, oh man, it took forever and it still doesn't feel great. It's also shrunk a lot, so it's kind of a pain to put on here, but it works, and I really want to protect this monitor, so I do leave it on there. So, yeah. Another Dell. Now, there's absolutely nothing special about this 12-inch, except, if my memory serves me correctly, this is my first CRT ever that I owned, that was mine, and it still works. So I'm keeping that one until the end of time. Amdek Video 300 that still has an intact mesh on it, which I quite like, so I'm leaving it on there. Mine is green phosphor, which I'm okay with. I have, actually I'm just gonna grab it right now, an amber phosphor MDA monitor right here. Can't connect it to everything, but I've got choices for PC at least, depending on how I'm feeling. This is so light. So it's like seriously ridiculously light. So it's crazy. Wait, it's even lighter than the Amdek actually. It's kind of weird. Then the HP 8291-3A, which I believe is actually based on an NEC, which is for the HP 86. I don't know if this is different from the NEC because this actually displays the underscan area. So the image is shrunk down a little bit because the HP 86 is kind of too high resolution for NTSC. It works by drawing in the overscan area. So it's kind of interesting because you really need this monitor for an HP 86. I've run my 86 with the Amdek and it actually does not work well because you can't see all of the lines. So this is an interesting monitor, and I would be curious to know if the NEC model will actually work like that as well, or if this one is configured differently by HP for their stuff. I don't know. Don't know quite where I want to put it on the shelf either. Could actually go down there and I can save myself some space. It's very shallow, so yeah, that's easy. I'm not gonna tell you what this is yet. You're just gonna have to wait and see. All right, you didn't have to wait very long. This is the monitor to an AT&T PC clone. But the thing is that this is actually an Olivetti M24, I believe, just rebranded to AT&T. And the monitor is bespoke to the computer, as is the keyboard, which I will also be going and grabbing. And I think this doesn't work. I was given this and told that it needed to work. The battery has been removed from the motherboard. I verified that, so it's at least not going to get worse. But that's another one of those things where it's just been stuffed away in a closet somewhere or storage unit and haven't been able to get to work on it. Now it's gonna be right here on the shelf, 20 feet away from my workbench. Walk in, grab it, find out what's wrong. So really looking forward to all of this. Not quite sure how I'm gonna store it on here yet. See if I shuffle the monitor towards the back and put this on its side, can pretty well utilize this space. That'll work. And here is the keyboard for it, which I can actually just fit up there. All right. These are weird, and I'm gonna put them up here because honestly, they'll be fine. That's the expansion, so we need to look at this. I bought these at a thrift store, not knowing what they were. I knew they went together, but I saw VGA, MDA, CGA, EGA labeled on them, and then that was it. So I was like, well, that's really weird. I gotta know what that is. Turns out, the keyboard and mouse on the front also give a hint for this. This is a KVM. You can barely see up here. It's a Cybex Commander. Unfortunately, they use really weird proprietary cables, which I got some of, but I'm not sure that they were actually correct. And I've not been able to get it to work. It has a power supply input, which is either 9 volts DC or 9 volts AC, and I think it's AC. It's something weird. And I have no idea why it doesn't work, but I've opened it up. It's super complicated, so I just haven't had the time to put into it. I'm actually starting to run out of things here, which is nice. So I'm going to start grabbing some stuff from in the room. This is just an IBM LCD ThinkVision era VGA. It's not hardwired. They're just plugged in and fed through the plastic shroud in the monitor. Bought this because I also have a ThinkPad with a dock, and I kind of wanted to do like a whole video about setting up a ThinkPad in a docked environment, then using an IBM WorkPad with it. I don't know, just still letting that idea ferment, see how I want to approach it. Here's a tote of things to be addressed at a later date. Not really a whole lot to go through in there. Can give you a fun example of Atari's always unfortunate naming for some of their things. Not Atari. Atari had the Touch Me, which was, you know, not great. This is the Touch and Tell. Also not really awesome in the long run. But yeah, that's it from the line of the Texas Instruments Speak and Spell devices, and takes a cartridge and has a little insert, and you touch on different things on the picture and it will tell you what they are. It's kind of cool. Not really as interesting as a Speak and Spell, so it's just kind of up there in case I ever do like a global video about them. Alrighty, my personal wheel writer 2 that's unfortunately damaged. Really does actually irritate me quite a lot. Probably gonna come in here and pilfer the correction ribbon and use it on the personal wheel writer 1 that I have connected to a computer, because I did actually try and correct something with it. Didn't have a correction ribbon on it, and then ended up using a knife to scrape off the ink, which I don't think I covered that in the typewriter correction video. That actually kind of ends up being the best solution in my opinion out of all of them. If you don't have a correction ribbon, just take a knife, run it backwards on the ink, or if it's super sharp, forwards, and then just kind of scrape off the top layer. Eventually you'll get through and it works well. HP 4C. This is a scanner. It's SCSI. And that's about it. That's remarkable. But for some reason, I have it in my head that I must have one of these that works. I'd have this infatuation with it. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's not even one of the ones that sings like Ode to Joy, though, when you turn it on holding the test button. It's just a scanner, but I still really want one. And that one has some kind of stop limit switch issue where it'll move the scanner out, then never actually scan, and then go back and give up. So I don't know what's wrong with it. I've tried like every single driver for DeskJet or Desk Scan, and none of them have worked. Half of the reason I actually built my 46 so I could run Windows 3.1 and use one of those versions of Desk Scan on it, and it still did not work. I have no idea what's wrong. This is a first generation Wacom Cintiq. This is a touchscreen monitor that is DVI and USB, and it works. It's pretty sweet. When I envisioned how to lay out my desk at the office here, I actually pictured the desk going farther towards the door and then having the Cintiq set up at the end with a sort of dock to connect my Mac to, and then use this for creating more merch designs. And I'm still thinking I want to do that. I'm not really drawing the things. I'm more creating a stencil, but I don't know, there's something more tactile about that I really want to use that with. So at some point, this is actually going to get set up for real, but for now, up there, because I don't have the final desk configuration. All right, so both shelves are in here now. That's really nice. I decided I'm not gonna get to that yet because I'm kind of feeling a little exhausted after moving all this. So I really need to spend some time just recovering. But I got all of it in, and I'm honestly, as I walk into this room now, I really like seeing all of this there and accessible. That's really nice. Now I am going to be adding probably 2 more shelves to this wall. I have some plastic ones that are definitely not load bearing. I bought these shelves specifically because I knew they would hold CRTs. So the other ones will just get little things. But yeah, I might also try and get more of these. I don't know. There's some listings on Craigslist that are local that I could potentially get some more. So I'm going to see if I can. But I don't know. Should really measure the distance between the server cabinet here and the shelves. Actually, I need to push the server cabinet more up against the wall, or maybe not, and just give myself some padding for more space. So I don't know yet, but I'm very happy to see that. Definitely need to visit a hardware store and get some baling wire so I can attach these. I can even do it on the inside here, so it's not visible from the outside. And then, I mean, you would never know, and it'll be nice and secure. So I don't know, probably gonna do that. It'll be really nice to do it. Although along the front over that stupid join as well, should probably definitely do that. There was one thing, actually there's a couple of things I didn't really bring in. 2 of them are those shelves right there. I gotta figure out where I wanna put those. But one thing I really wanted to show you was this printer. Look at this printer. This thing is glorious. Oh, yes, look at that. This uses 2-inch universal typewriter ribbons. It has a long travel feed. It is a star, okay? This thing is phenomenal. And I'm gonna be printing this month's hard copy orders on this because I have not had an opportunity to use it since I picked it up, and I've been drooling over it since then. I really like printers. I don't know if you know that, as I got a printer typewriter, ThinkJet, and then this that I'm gushing over. I don't know what it is about printers. If you told me when I was younger that I would like printers as much as I do, I would have thought you were crazy. But these old printers are just awesome. I mean, look at how this works, okay? Here. So the ribbon starts out on the spool. It goes through, you can't see, it goes through some control lines here, one pulley, another pulley, another pulley, another pulley, wraps all the way around over here. 1, 2, 3, 4 more pulleys. Okay, these aren't really pulleys, they're like guide things. I don't know what they'd be called, but they're rollers. All right, this is a tensioner. This is meant to align it. I mean, this is just great. All right, I love this. So crazy. I do not have a lot of printers that support universal typewriter spools. The only other one I have is actually my Microline 92 here. This one does as well, but it is nowhere near as impressive as that star is. So I'm really happy to get the star. The star is a lot more plasticky junk feeling. This is a really high quality printer, but still, I mean, just yes. I really like this thing. So I'm going to be setting up to film the hard copy supporter for that, the printout, but I think that is it for now on this one. I'm so happy to get those big shelves in there. Realistically, with those shelves in there and set up now, I'm at the point where there is not a lot left that is like little fiddly stuff in the storage unit. There's a lot of stuff still in there, don't get me wrong. But a lot of it I'm going to be going in and organizing, and it won't be stuff that I can just like set up and show you like this. So I'm probably gonna have a lot of boxes that I bring in that are just random things, and then some stuff that I'm gonna do and move off camera entirely just because there's nothing there that's coming to the office and it's not related to that. So there may be some things that change between now and the next office vlog, but it won't be very significant. There will definitely be more office vlogs coming soon though, because I have some things that I'm potentially going to be changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. But for right now, I really do need to just go relax. And now I have 2 videos shot, I think. I haven't decided if I'm going to join 5 and 6 or make one super episode with that, or try and make them separate. I don't know how well they will stand alone. So I will figure that out in the edit. So this is either the end of 5 or the end of 6. I'm not sure. But that is it for now. If you want to support the channel, you could get YouTube Premium. That helps way more than people think. So there's an option. And if you want to see some other ways, you can look at links in the description. But that is it for now. I don't really ever say this, but thank you so much to everyone who's watching. You guys are really enjoying these office vlogs way more than I would have ever guessed. I had made a poll in a video that I actually just, to me, released yesterday, so you can get an idea of how far off these videos are at the moment. And I was wondering, you know, how much do you guys like these videos and want them to keep being put on the main channel? And it's about 90% of you that want the videos to continue on the main channel. So we're definitely going to be keeping these going for as much as I possibly can. So me saying that there's going to be maybe a slight delay, don't worry about that. It's just stuff that you won't even find interesting, because like this, that's kind of cool to see how that's set up. But you know, other stuff, not as much. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed this, because realistically, I'm definitely not ready to start doing anything else yet. So that works out for me. So, all right. I hope you guys enjoyed this office vlog. I will see you in the next one. And that is it for now. So I will see you later. You know, I was going to use this, but I can actually tell this is a big boy printer that really isn't suitable for the hard copy stuff now that I'm seeing it set up here with paper, because it's the kind of printer that is meant to, let me turn it on here, you're supposed to start out on the edge of the next page here. Yeah, right there. So that's actually the line for the next page. You're supposed to start out there and then sacrifice this first sheet to align it. And for the hard copy printout that I film, that's not really gonna work. But in place of that over there, this will actually make a ton of sense. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull the ThinkJet out. I'm gonna print it with that for video. And then when people get them in the mail, they'll actually get them off of this. Because, yeah, that's, I mean, the thing is that it has the platen, but it doesn't do friction feed. I can tell it's tractor only. Because if I pull these off, push this up here, and then do a form feed, yeah, it's not very consistent there. That should have been a whole page, but it only did like that much, because this is just like completely loose in here. So yeah, not suitable for this, unfortunately, but I will still get to play with it at some point. Just I gotta use that one for this.